Good afternoon. My name is Amin Sleiman, and I'm here to talk about my progress presentation so far. The project is about the evaluation of waste management practices and the potential for circular economy principle in the Nigerian aviation industry. When we talk about the circular economy, we talk about the 4 Rs: the recycle, reuse, remanufacture, and refurbish the waste products. The content, we talk about the overview, background research, question objectives, the progress report we have achieved so far, the methodology used, justification, the changes along the way while doing the project, and what next, the interviews and how to collect the data and how to present the results, and then the referencing. The background here, you can see a picture of the waste practice brought about by one of the aircraft, the Turkish Airline International in Lagos International Airport, which I'm talking about the two major airports in Nigeria, Abuja and Lagos, for the waste management evaluation process. We can see from 2017 to 2022, there's a lot of growth from estimated approximately 300,000 tons of waste generated annually, which is a lot from the Adejiro 2019. The background, this we see one of the picture here, it's a normal thing we see at the airport in Lagos, while you're taxiing around before your departure. This is one of the sites you see. You can see all the seats here in the aircraft. We talk about a lot of pollution and just keeping it in open bay, and obviously there's some environmental degradation and pollution it causes, not to talk about the public risks. The research question and objectives, there's obviously a lot of question and objective in this research, but we narrow it down to about 4 to 5, just so we can streamline it and make a good understanding. We want to assess the current state of plastic waste. There's a lot of waste coming from the aircraft, which we all know, but for this particular project, we hold on to the plastic, how to use it, and what disposal methods is used, both in the economy and the environmental impact. We investigate the global circular economy standards regarding the disposal of plastic waste. We compare it, how it's done in Nigeria and how it's done in other part of the country and part of the world generally. We analyze the challenges and opportunities for the circular economy. What do we do with these plastic waste, and how best to come up with what to use it to do. For the progress report, what I have achieved so far, I have done the research background on the circular waste and how to mitigate some more things for the disposal of waste, the plastic waste. We talk about the review existing literature, which I've checked a lot of literature, and we decide on the definitive study methodology and how to execute the strategy. We draft a semi-structured survey, conduct interviews, and we are going to have the one-on-one interview with the stakeholders in the industry. I give more details in the following slides. We can see here what we review for the existing literature, the books we've used, and the research, the conceptual review, the waste management in Nigerian aviation sector, and the aviation waste management, coupled with the comparative analysis of waste management models. The existing literature review, the theoretical framework that we used, the waste management hierarchy and its relevance, the extended producer responsibility, and we talk about the challenges, the opportunities also for the circular economy. Because if we can, by end of the project, if I come up with something reasonable for the waste mitigation and management, it's going to be something that we would want to adapt, so to see how it's done in the global market compared to Nigeria. For the methodology, we have decided on the qualitative research design for the study. The approach is to get as much information, qualitative data from relevant stakeholders within the aviation sectors, and we're going to use the semi-structured interview. The two airports I came about with is the Murtala Muhammad Airport in Lagos and the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in Abuja, which are the biggest two international airports. Obviously, a lot of international flights come in, and the waste disposal is a lot. One of the stakeholders took me to the site in Abuja where they dump the refuse, and it's just like it's an open field that they drop it there. Sometimes some other people come to pick up the plastics to use it to recycle it, but not big companies. The big companies don't come for it. It's mostly the needy that comes and pick it up. They use it for some household, or some even use it to put some other stuff inside the bottles to sell to the general public, which also is environmental concern and hygiene. The data analysis I came up with, we used the Brown and Clark 2017 approach. There are 6 steps basically. There's the familiarization of data, the initial coding, how to generate the themes, to validity and reliability of the themes, and defining the naming of the themes coupled with the interpretation and reporting. So this framework would be used to streamline about the thematic analysis of the project. The choices and justification. We come about with the question with why the options available to adapt in the research progress, and just shortlisted into the analyzing of secondary data, which is publicly available. Everybody can check and see by doing the research some other work that has been done before on waste management in Nigerian airports. And there's also the quantitative survey administered by a large number of airport workers. You can have them. And then thirdly, we come up with a qualitative semi-structured interview of selected stakeholders. On careful consideration of all 3, I chose to use the qualitative semi-structured interview, which you talk directly with the people that involve hands-on with the waste management in Nigeria at these airports. So the choice is made so that you can talk to them directly, and you come up with a question that they are aware of it and they are able to answer. The changes along the way. Initially, there are 2 changes I made. Number 1, I wanted it to do more than 2 airports, but talking to my supervisor, we streamlined to come up with at least 2, just to make a comparison of the airports so that we don't go overboard all over the place. The streaming of the research focus, the streamlined research type waste plastics, and that's why we came up with just the waste of the plastic. A lot of waste obviously comes from the aircrafts that take off and land every day. And even with the local airports and the local flights that come in, they gather everything, and in the evening, or the people doing the morning shift, which I talk to them directly, they take it down to the landfill for keeping. And you see some just going deep down into the ground. The obstacle and challenges I've faced so far. So far, not really some challenges. This is because of the work I do, which I'm a pilot and a captain in the Nigerian aviation. So I'm able to have easier access to all these airport staff and to gain access to each and every individual, which for now the sizable number is about 15 to 20 people both across airports. So talking to about 10 to 10 each on each of the airports. What next? The interviews, as we talked about, we conclude the introduction, literature review, and on the research strategy. The next phase would be carry out the semi-structured interviews, which is, I have not done it. I just talked to the 1 or 2 of the stakeholders, but for next, we come up with the interviews to talk deeply with them. As earlier discussed, the target population is the waste management sustainability related to staff in 2 international airports in Abuja and Lagos, and the respondents will be sampled proposively with the adoption of the snowballing technique to gain access to more respondents. The interview would be conducted either personally or virtually. Some people might prefer to do a virtual interview, maybe because of the busy schedule like the airport staff have. So I'm open to both of them, whether in person or virtually, to do the interviews. The data analysis and result presentation. Upon conclusion of the data procedure, the interviews, the transcripts described will be thematically as discussed by the Brown and Clark technique, will be employed to study the responses of the extract key themes. The results will then be presented with discussions around the findings and how they fit into the body of the existing literature of the project. In addition, the recommendation how to course of action to be taken, especially with the circular economy, and where are there gaps. We identify the gaps and we try as much as possible to see how it can be mitigated. It's going to be an interesting project because these are something that happens, and I've taken key interest to see how it's going to end up, and what after the interviews, what exactly to be done with the waste management, and how to be able to make use of it, as we talked about the 4 R's: how to refurbish, remanufacture, reuse. And that's pretty much everything with the project for now. We would keep on doing the surveys, and also to talk with the stakeholders. And for now, there's nothing written in written fully in gold. If, for instance, I have some challenges along the way, the project might be changed. Not the topic, but obviously maybe how to collect the data or any other thing. And these are the references that I use for this particular presentation. Thank you very much, and hope to see you again.